There is a moment, quiet, irreversible. The moment you stop waiting for the world to understand you. No more audience, no more applause, only silence. A silence that sinks into the bones, cold enough to force an admission. No one is staying up at night for your pain. No one is coming to save you. But stop for a second. This is not a tragedy. This is the opportunity to begin. Machiavelli once said, "The world does not reward suffering. It only responds to the power you create." The moment you stop waiting for others to care is the moment you stop performing and begin building. From that second, you are no longer the victim. You become the player, the lawmaker, someone who needs no permission to exist. You act so your existence cannot be ignored. And on this path you will learn, silence becomes not abandonment, but cold discipline. Rejection becomes not a wound, but a map. Solitude becomes not fear, but the foundation of power. Listen closely. This is not empty philosophy. This is a Machiavellian handbook to turn the world's indifference into an absolute advantage. If you are ready to stop waiting and start choosing yourself, comment, "I choose myself." No one is coming. Will you sit and wait? Or rise and rule the rest of your life? When we are young, we are taught an illusion. A sweet illusion, but a dangerous one. That if we hurt enough, someone will notice. That if we work long enough, someone will recognize us. Then, reality strips the veil away. The world is far too busy to measure your pain. Tears have no market price. Your sacrifices do not show up on anyone's profit ledger. No one counts the hours you lie awake. They care about only one thing: results. Machiavelli saw this more clearly than most. He wrote, "A ruler cannot build his throne on pity. Power stands on fear and respect, not on tears." Pause for a second. Imagine this scene. An employee at a big company. He stays late. He helps others. He sacrifices quietly, drop by drop, waiting for the day his boss will finally notice. Month after month, nothing changes. His name never appears on the report. His effort dissolves into silence. He burns out inside invisibility until he changes his strategy. He stops telling stories. He turns effort into numbers, sales reports, project milestones, concrete outcomes. 3 months later, leadership can't ignore him. Not because they suddenly care, because he has made himself a link too crucial to cut. That is the turning point. From "please see me" to "you cannot ignore me." From the one who waits to the one who commands. A boxer doesn't need an audience to urge him on. He needs to knock out the opponent. An entrepreneur doesn't beg for funding. He proves his product has 10,000 users. An artist doesn't plead for recognition. He releases a piece that silences the room. The world must look, not because it wants to, but because it has no choice. The issue isn't whether you deserve notice. The issue is whether you produce results that make people unable to turn away. Listen closely. If you have felt unseen, burn this into your bones. You do not need to be looked at to have value. You need to build so that your presence cannot be dismissed. And here is the Machiavellian truth. No one gives you the spotlight. You must erect the lights yourself. No one writes your name into history. You must carve it with blood, sweat, and results. Pause again. If no one is pricing you, create a price they must pay. Remember, the great ones did not start with applause. They started amid indifference. Alexander was once seen as an obscure prince before he conquered the world. Steve Jobs was once pushed out of the company he founded before he returned to build an empire. Muhammad Ali was mocked as a loudmouth before the world had to call him the greatest. You may be ignored today, but if you turn every drop of sweat into outcome. Tomorrow, those who overlooked you will have to stop, look, and admit. So ask yourself, are you living to be noticed? Or living to become unavoidable? If you have been invisible but now swear to change, write a comment. From invisible, I will become undeniable. And don't write it for yourself alone. Tag a friend who's exhausted from waiting for recognition. Let them see the escape is not begging. It is becoming impossible to ignore. Once you step across the cold face of power, you will never want to return to the old illusion. There is a kind of strength that requires no noise, no boasting, no stage lights. It is strength forged in silence, in those quiet mornings when others still sleep, when they are still dreaming, still complaining, still hunting excuses. You sit down and begin to temper yourself. Machiavelli observed this in those who rule, those who keep discipline when others abandon themselves. Sooner or later, they seize the advantage, because power is not a sudden jolt. Power is repetition, persistent, relentless, cold. Pause for a second. Imagine an unknown writer. He writes 2 hours every morning for 30 days, and no one cares. No shares, no applause, no encouraging word, just an empty room and the scratch of his pen. Then, on day 31, he releases his first manuscript. Thousands of downloads, a publishing deal. His name begins to circulate. Some call it luck, some call it genius. But you know the truth. It is the fruit of disciplined silence. When you are silent, the world assumes you stopped. But in truth, you are accumulating. You are sharpening every weak edge. You are hiding the pain in small, precise motions. And when it finally erupts, the world can only stand and stare. Machiavelli would smirk and say, "The one who controls habits controls fate." And this truth is brutally cold. No one respects someone who cannot keep a promise to himself. You can speak 1,000 philosophical lines. You can narrate your hunger, your dreams, your grand purpose. But the moment you break a promise to yourself, all your words turn into hollow echoes. Listen closely. You don't lose because opportunities are scarce. You lose because you break the pact with yourself. A real warrior doesn't need applause to proceed. He proceeds because discipline has woven itself into his blood. A true entrepreneur doesn't wait for inspiration to work. He works because the system he built doesn't tolerate sloth. Cold discipline has a strange power. It requires no immediate witnesses. It asks for no verbal proof. It only requires repetition, day after day. No mercy. No exceptions. One habit established, another linked to it. They interlock until they form a skeleton. And slowly, you are no longer the fragile one. You become unbreakable. Ask yourself, how many times have you reneged on your oath to yourself? And how often did you expect others to honor you? The truth. The world does not respect those who fail themselves. If you can't keep a small commitment, who will trust you with a great one? So be silent. Be disciplined. Let habits answer for every excuse. Hear this. Do not flaunt your philosophy. Live it. Do not declare your discipline. Let change speak through your eyes, your gait, your results. And if you truly want to begin, here is a trial. 30 days of cold discipline. 30 days of honoring one small vow each morning. 30 days without once breaking a promise to yourself. If you are ready, leave a comment. Discipline, not just a word, a public pledge. A covenant that from today you no longer live to seek recognition. You live so discipline will forge you into the unbreakable. Because once you taste the power of cold discipline, you will understand why silence is the most terrifying weapon. Real power does not lie in shouting what you are about to do. Power lies in the fact that others cannot predict your next move. Machiavelli repeated this over and over in The Prince. Let your goal be as vague as mist, but when you strike, strike like a hammer. Pause a second, listen carefully. If others can guess you, they can control you. But if they are always uneasy about what you're thinking, you hold the initiative. Picture a small startup. No noise about their plan. No bragging about ideas. No hint of strategy. In silence, they secure manufacturing contracts. They lock down the supply chain. They prepare for crisis scenarios. No one knows. Competitors laugh, convinced they'll amount to nothing. And then, one day, the product launches. Competitors freeze. No counterstrike is possible, because everything was already decided in the dark. That is the strength of hidden intent. The one who lays out every card too soon is always the loser. The wise one. The quieter he stays, the louder his surprise will sound. Pause again. When was the last time you announced something before you did it? And afterward, did you actually live up to the words? Machiavelli understood the crowd's obsession. They want to categorize you, to put you in a box. Oh, he's that kind of person. Oh, she can only go this far. But once you become predictable, you become controllable. You are a pawn, not a player. Ambiguity, in contrast, makes them uneasy. Your unpredictability makes them cautious. And that caution is an invisible shield that protects you. Remember this. Not everyone deserves to know what you are building. Not everyone should see your pain, your plans, or your targets. A king never shares every calculation with his subjects. A warrior never lets his enemy read the next strike. An entrepreneur never reveals strategy until the market has no time to react. Listen, as long as others are guessing, you are free. When they think you've stopped, you're silently moving 10 miles further. When they mock your silence, let them laugh. Because when you appear, that laughter will collapse into trembling silence. That is the pinnacle of strategy. No announcements, only arrival. And when you act, no one can respond in time. History offers proof. Julius Caesar hid his intent to cross the Rubicon. No one believed he would dare, for it meant treason. But the very shock carried him straight to the throne. Had Caesar declared his move beforehand, he would have been stopped at the border. He won. Because no one could predict. Machiavelli would whisper to you, the strongest strategy is silence, and the strongest blow is the one unseen. So ask yourself, are you talking too much? Are you handing weapons to others with every word you share? Are you living to explain yourself, instead of letting results explain everything? If you grasp the power of hidden intent, leave a single word, veil. Not for me, for yourself. As a reminder that from today, you no longer need to shout what you will do. You only need to do it. And when you do, the world will be caught unprepared. They will not see you preparing. They will only see you appear. And in that moment, every eye will be forced to look at you. There is a common mistake. People think exposing emotions makes them stronger, that venting earns comfort, that showing wounds brings pity. But Machiavelli would shrug and say coldly, he who turns pain into a performance hands a weapon to others. Pause for a moment. Listen carefully. Every time you expose weakness to the wrong person, you remove a brick from your own fortress. And when the day comes to stand firm, your wall is full of holes. Look at the world today. It is full of people turning pain into content. They post every moment of exhaustion, every scratch, every collapse of hope. For 10 minutes, they receive a few virtual hugs, a few "stay strong." But 10 days later, they lose something far more valuable: respect. Stop and ask yourself, what do you want to be remembered for? For endless posts of complaints, or for results that silence a room? Machiavelli knew well. Emotions out of control are cracks in power. A ruler never cries before his enemies. A warrior never whines on the battlefield, not because they feel no pain, but because they know exposing it only strengthens the other side. Look at true warriors. They don't broadcast their wounds. They turn wounds into discipline, into endurance, into silent drive. They don't need an audience for their pain. They only need results to answer. Listen closely. The world does not respect those who sell pity. The world bows only to those who turn pain into power. What is strategic self-respect? It is knowing what to keep hidden. It is swallowing certain emotions, then transmuting them into silent fuel. It is letting the world see only results, never your panic in the dark. A wise king never lets his subjects see despair. A cold-blooded entrepreneur never lets rivals see his fear. A silent warrior never exposes weakness on the battlefield. And neither should you. You don't need to turn emotions into a show. You need to turn them into stored energy, so that when the time comes, you strike with precision and the world is shaken. Remember this: pity fades, power remains. If you truly grasp this, right, power is greater than pity. This is not just a comment. It is a declaration, a warning to yourself. Don't sell your sadness cheap. Invest it into endurance. Because when you walk into a room, no one needs to know the nights you endured. They only need to see eyes that do not waver, a presence that does not bend, a result that cannot be denied. Machiavelli would smile and say, "No one remembers your tears. They only remember what you force them to acknowledge." So, next time you feel the urge to share pain, stop. Ask yourself, do I want to hand people pity, or do I want to hand them a result that silences them? Choose. And if you choose power, let your silence be mystery, not a plea. Inspiration is a traitor. It arrives when you're excited. It disappears when you need it most. Listen carefully. If you build your life on inspiration, you will die with it. Machiavelli understood this better than anyone. The one who waits for inspiration before acting will never rule anything. But the one who builds structure will rule even when inspiration has abandoned him. Picture an ordinary student, not a genius, no photographic memory, not outstanding in the crowd. But instead of waiting for a perfect day to study, he builds himself a system. Each day, 3 hard tasks, 3 habits for health, 3 new connections to expand opportunity. 3 months later, grades rise. The body grows stronger. Extra income appears, not because of luck, not because of inspiration, but because his structure does not tire. Pause for a moment. Do you have a roadmap for the next 3 months? Or are you drifting on today's emotions? A wise ruler does not wait on the fickle will of the people. He creates laws. He builds structure. He sets principles that force everyone to obey. That very structure is what keeps the throne steady against storms. The same is true for an individual. If you have no structure, you are swept into the chaos of others. If you have structure, you turn yourself into a fortress, unshakable. Listen, inspiration will not save you when the night is long. Only structure will lift you out of bed every morning. Stop dreaming about inspiration. Build a map, a cold map, clear, detailed. Ask yourself, are you writing down a plan or just keeping it in your head hoping inspiration drags you forward? Do you have a daily system or are you just waiting for vague energy? Do you have an architecture of personal power or are you chasing emotional winds until you get lost? Machiavelli would sneer, "He who lets emotions rule will never rule anything." Look back at history. The strongest empires were not built on the excitement of the masses. They were built on structure, laws, armies, taxes, iron discipline. A person who wants to become untouchable must also have his own architecture. Pause again. If you have no map, you are only walking in fog, and the one walking in fog will crash into any wall placed in front of him. So begin. It doesn't need to be complex. Just a small system. 3 tasks each day. 3 habits for health. 3 connections to expand opportunity. That is the seed. And that seed will grow into the roots of your personal power. If you have ever been lost chasing inspiration, leave one word: system. And don't stop there. Write down 3 tasks, 3 habits, 3 connections you will begin in the next 7 days. Write them in the comments. Let this community witness you building your first map. Listen carefully. Inspiration comes and goes. Structure remains. And it is structure that becomes the backbone of power. There is one thing that breaks people more than anything else: rejection. A shake of the head, a door slammed shut, an indifferent glance. Many see it as humiliation, as if a knife had cut straight into the soul. But Machiavelli would say something different. Rejection does not kill you. It only shows you the path you should not take. Pause for a second. Listen carefully. Rejection is not the end. It is a signpost. You feel pain because you placed your worth in someone else's hands. But in truth, they are only saying, "This is not your place. Go find the right one." Picture a job candidate. He is rejected 7 times in a row. Each time he walks out of the room, he feels smaller, as if a piece of his soul was stripped away. But instead of complaining, he adapts. He reviews his answers. He analyzes his weak points. He sharpens his skills. On the 8th attempt, he walks in sharper than ever. And this time, the door opens. Not because the world suddenly adored him, but because he had aligned himself with the right door. Stop and ask yourself, are you hurt because you were hated, or simply because you were in the wrong place? Machiavelli once reminded us, better to be rejected early than to live forever in the illusion of being welcome. Rejection is not an ending, it is a correction. An arrow off target is not failure. It just needs to be adjusted. Remember, rejection is a mirror. It reflects the weakness you must sharpen. It cuts off the wrong road, so you are forced to find the right one. Alexander the Great once failed in his early sieges, but those rejections taught him how to refine his tactics until he became unstoppable. Thomas Edison was dismissed as a mad experimenter after thousands of failures. But each rejection was a map. Not this way, try another. Listen closely. Rejection does not make you smaller. It makes your direction clearer. Instead of asking, "Why didn't they choose me?" ask, "What must I sharpen so I cannot be ignored?" You can see rejection as a wound, or you can see it as a compass. The wound makes you cry. The compass makes you move. Machiavelli would smile and say, "The wise do not curse the closed door. They use it to find the one that leads to the throne." Pause again. If you are being rejected right now, do not treat it as the end. See it as a map being drawn in front of you. If you have ever risen after rejection, leave one word: redirection. Not just for the comment, but to remind yourself, rejection does not kill you. It only steers you toward the right path. And one day, when you look back, you will see that every door slammed shut today was only a turn leading you to where you truly belong. Power does not need noise. Power needs one line at the right moment. Machiavelli saw this clearly. The more you speak, the more you reveal the map in your head. Once others read that map, you have handed them your advantage. He wrote, "A wise ruler keeps his words few but heavy, like a blade drawn only when it must cut." Pause for a second. Ask yourself, do you speak to create movement, or merely to fill the silence? Picture a manager. He used to drown in endless meetings. Hours disappear into a sea of words, and the team moves nowhere. Then he changes. Each week he speaks only 3 lines. 1 line to set the goal, 1 line to define the action, 1 line to lock the deadline. Something strange happens. The team starts to operate more powerfully than ever, no longer lost in talk, straight into the work that matters. Listen closely. You do not need to talk more. You need to talk less, but every word must compel others to act. The language of power is not volume. It is precision. It is silence with weight. It is a single, cold sentence that makes the room hold its breath. Look at a boxer. He does not need to threaten his opponent with words. 1 precise punch is enough to silence the arena. A leader is the same. No long arguments required. 1 sentence, by tomorrow we finish, and the whole team moves. Stop and remember, when was the last time you spoke too much and nobody followed? That wasn't their failure. It was yours. Your words lacked weight. Hear this. Every time you speak, you spend power. If you speak too often, your words become hollow. If you speak at the right moment, your words become a dagger. Machiavelli would smile and whisper, "Do not let your words become wind. Let them be the blade, driven into truth." Look through history. Napoleon delivered speeches of only a few short lines that made thousands shout. Churchill, in World War II, offered no rosy promises. He said, "We have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears, and sweat." There is quieted again. A nation rose from that. That is the power of the language of authority. Few words, but precise, but deep, but impossible to ignore. Listen carefully. You do not need to leave many words behind. You need to leave 1 sentence people will remember for life. So, from today, try this. Speak half as much, but let every word be an implicit command. Let every sentence you utter be one nobody dares to dismiss. If you understand this power, leave 1 word. Say do. A reminder that your words are no longer wind. They are blades, no longer sounds, but actions. Because true power does not require many words. 1 sentence at the right time, in the right place, is enough to change everything. No one goes far alone. Even the coldest rulers need allies. But Machiavelli would warn you, don't choose friends by feeling. Choose allies by interest. Pause for a second. Listen closely. In politics, the most durable alliances rarely begin with friendship. They begin with mutual need. 2 powers look at each other. They see that if they cooperate, both grow stronger. If they oppose each other, both grow weaker. So they clasp hands. No oaths of till death. Only 1 demand. Clear interests. Look at history. During the Renaissance, the Italian city-states constantly switched sides, forming and dissolving alliances. No one truly loved anyone else. There was only 1 question. By going together, what do we gain? That pragmatism kept certain dynasties alive for centuries. Hear this. Affection fades fast. Interests keep the bond. In everyday life, it is the same. 1 freelancer writes well but can't sell. Another sells well but cannot write. An alliance forms. 1 brings clients, the other delivers the product. Revenue rises, risk drops. No brothers forever ceremony. Just clarity. Who does what? Who gets what? Machiavelli would smirk at those who make friends by emotion. He knew. Feelings fade. Balanced interests outlast pretty promises. Pause again. Ask yourself, who is covering your weak flank? And whose weak flank are you covering? If there is no exchange, it is not an alliance. It is a drain. Consider Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. Jobs carried vision and sales. Wozniak carried extraordinary technical power. Alone, each was a misfit. Together, they created Apple. That is the strength of a pragmatic alliance. Or take Alexander the Great. He did not rely on military force alone. He married strategically, forged alliances by marriage and mutual interest, turning enemies into partners. No friendship required, only shared gain. Listen carefully. Do not look for people to comfort you. Look for people who will build with you. If you want to go far, write down right now 3 capabilities you need at your side. Maybe negotiation, maybe technology, maybe finance. Write them down. When you write, you begin drawing the map for your alliance. And if you understand the power of choosing allies by interest, leave one word: alliance. Not just to mark the comments, but to remind yourself, affection may blur. Pragmatic alliances keep you standing for the long war. Pause for a second. You can go fast alone, but if you want to win, you need a team. In the end, the truth does not change. No one comes. No one stays up at night for your pain. No one stands behind you to push you forward. Pause a second. Listen closely. This is not a tragedy. This is good news, because when no one comes, you stop waiting. When you stop waiting, you start acting. When you act, you become the only author of the laws that govern your life. Machiavelli never believed in salvation from outside. He believed in cold forging. He believed in quiet discipline. He believed in the power of the one who needs no permission to exist and who builds reasons that force others to recognize him. Hear this. You do not need someone to pat your shoulder. You do not need praise to know your worth. You do not need a pitying glance to know you are not alone. You only need yourself. When the world turns its back, make that back a wall to spring from. When people ignore you, turn that indifference into fuel for your focus. When no one hands you power, build power with your bare hands. Picture a crowded room. People talk loudly. No one notices you. Then you enter. No introduction. No loud proclamation. Your presence alone makes the room go quiet. That is the moment you understand. You have become impossible to ignore. Machiavelli would smile coldly and say, "People do not remember those who sit and wait. They remember those who rise and build." Pause a second. Who will you be in this story? The one who waits or the one who builds? If you have walked with me to this moment, you are no longer an ordinary spectator. You have become part of those who build, and it is time to carve your oath here. Write this. No one came, I built anyway. Not just as a comment, but as a declaration. A marker to remind yourself that you are no longer waiting. You have become the builder. Listen, no one came, but you came, and that is the beginning of power. If this resonates, leave a single phrase in the comments. No one came, I built anyway. Let it be your vow to stop waiting, to start building, to let your presence do the speaking. Because when you show up without expectation, the world finally has to pay attention. By now, you've heard enough cold truths. You've stared directly at reality. The world does not care. No one will hold your hand. No one will come to lift you up. No one will hand you opportunity. Pause a second. Listen carefully. Inside that indifference lies a rare chance. The chance to stop living like someone asking for permission and start living like someone who builds. Machiavelli would remind you, do not expect anyone to protect you. The only one who can protect you is yourself. And when you step out of this video, I don't want you to carry just a few words. I want you to carry a vow. A vow not to me, not to anyone else, but to yourself. Whisper it in your head, or say it out loud right now, or write it below this video as a public mark. From today, I stop waiting, I stop asking. I keep my word, even when no one is watching. I work even when the room is empty. I build even when the world is silent. And I will turn indifference into strength. Listen, this is not philosophy. This is the rule of the game, the rule of those who understand power. No pity required, no applause needed, only self-respect. If you agree with this vow, leave one line. No one came, I built anyway. That is not just a comment. That is a community vow, a mirror for all of us to see each other. Not through pity, but through resolve. Picture this. One day, you return to these comments. You see thousands of vows like your own, and you realize you are not alone. Not because someone comforted you, but because there is a community of builders who chose the same path. Pause a second. You could keep this fire for yourself, but why? Someone out there is exhausted from waiting for attention. Share this video with them, not to console, but to hand them a handbook, a map to rise on their own. Machiavelli would say, power is never granted. It only comes to those who dare to take it. So don't just listen. Don't just nod. Don't just reflect. Act, comment, share. Live this vow every day. And when you return to the next video, write, I kept the vow, to prove that you didn't just swear it. You lived it. Listen carefully. One day, you will look back, and you will see, no one came, but you rose, you built, and that was the beginning of power.